What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 8.17%, largely piggybacking off of the broader market because there hasn't been all that much in news associated to Lucid. No SEC filings, no speculative topics posted on Twitter or anything like that. So it is just piggybacking off the broader market. A couple articles, although, coming out just bringing up how Goldman did increase their position a substantial amount. So that's kind of a good thing. But aside from that, though, it's kind of hit and miss. So you did have Goldman disclose their 13F on May the 9th, increasing their position quarter over quarter 88.82%, because keep in mind these 13Fs are essentially from the previous quarter, so Q1. So still a good thing to see a large entity increasing their position, but it's somewhat mixed recently. So the ones that did submit, for instance, were Citi. They reduced their common stock, puts, as well as calls. You did have JP Morgan still maintaining their 3 million puts, so very much betting against Lucid. And then you did have them increase their common stock slightly by 2.24. So nothing really overly crazy. And in case you don't know what is really moving the market, it is this. So the US and China did come to some sort of resolution from their weekend negotiations. So China did put their new tariffs to 10% from 125, and the states did reduce theirs from 145 to 30%. And so this is done for 90 days. So we'll have to wait and see how this does kind of progress, but this is a very, very good start. Market is absolutely loving it. Lucid, in all honesty, was a little bit slow to start. So it only did go up like 2 something percent, and finally it's starting to gain some traction right now. But initially you did have shorts increasing their position, so I think they were one attributing factor why Lucid was lagging first thing. But as of right now, at the time of doing this video, shorts are finally returning 1.76 million shares. So they are starting to just do that. So obviously shorts returning is kind of adding a lot of buying pressure. So shorts increased first thing, then they probably realized that this movement for today across the board is really going to kind of shake things up quite a lot. I'm saying that in a nice way. So I think a lot of heavily shorted stocks, you're going to see those move up quite substantially over the next couple of trading days. So right now, Lucid shorts are returning, so that's always a good thing. Returning, like I said, 1.76, 28.92% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 356.72 million shares. Just follow me on Twitter. Every evening, I do post a lot of the common stocks that I always go over, like SoFi, SoundHound, Lucid, Neo, and so forth. I post all of the kind of end of day what shorts did on those. So if you don't follow me on there, recommending doing so. I've linked to that in the description for my Twitter. But one thing to take note of, though, is cost to borrow minimum is negative, meaning there is a broker out there physically paying people to short Lucid. So that does happen with Lucid on occasion, but negative 0.22% is kind of bold. So something to kind of keep in mind. Looking at the options, 1.14 million in calls, 286,000 in puts. 49% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature, and most of that was done while Lucid was being suppressed. So I think a lot of those bearish options are going to be getting their asses handed to them right now. But based on the bulls, you are seeing a consensus for it to be roughly around that $3 range, and then $3.50 going into next week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $2.50. So definitely a lot more upside is still anticipated. And as I mentioned in my video, I think it was yesterday, I can't remember fully, but you can kind of see this upcoming week, if for whatever reason Lucid is able to get above that $3 range, then this is where you'll have a very nice gamma squeeze. But today you are seeing a little bit of a increase in institutions kind of trading it, not all that much in buys. So I think one big attributing factor is algorithmic trading as well as shorts returning. So that's what's really pushing it higher recently. But based on this, you're not really seeing that full level of buying the dip, and if anything, most of these transactions are sells. You could tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So for those of you that like to do a little bit more of a deeper dive, look into kind of the times, match that with what is happening on the stock price and various things like that. But these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So a little bit more popular today, and this is most likely where shorts are hiding a lot of their transactions as per usual. But no new analyst ratings, so you did have only like a small handful since their earnings. So I think now people are just kind of waiting. Let's see exactly what Lucid is doing. And keep in mind, I think today's price action has nothing to do with Lucid itself, rather just the broader market. So just wanted to kind of clarify that. But based on the actual chart itself, as of right now, it is above that 100-day moving average. So that is sitting at 263. Next strong point is going to be that 200-day moving average, and that is that yellow line right there at 281. So if it is able to close above that 100-day moving average for 2 consecutive days, then I would say it is fair to assume that you'll see at least that 350 mark in the short term. So things could get very fast and very real. And I think it does help also the fact that Lucid is heavily shorted. So with all this broad market momentum, Lucid shorts being very overextended, in all honesty, I think things could get very real. I'm not here to say that mother of all short squeeze types of scenarios is going to happen with Lucid, because I'm not one of those tinfoil hat individuals that believes in like all that crazy manipulation. But I do obviously acknowledge the fact that shorts are a very big deal in Lucid's day-to-day price action. But I'm not here to say that you'll see like $100, $150 because of a squeeze, but you definitely could see new highs, at least in the short term, to roughly that $450 if a squeeze does occur. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying Lucid still? Are you kind of locking in profits? Do you think that this is a legitimate green day, or do you feel that it is just more of a temporary pump up? Because keep in mind, now the market doesn't really know exactly what to price in, because most likely this is going to really fuel the broader market, stimulate a lot of the data points. Powell is going to be seeing all this and say, hey, we need to actually continue to wait and see, look at the data points, just to potentially cut. So that might affect potentially the next upcoming meeting. So we'll have to wait and see, but definitely it is a very fun day, and it's always good to see shorts, not even just with Lucid, but across the board, get their asses handed to them. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.